What role do you think fitness plays in someone's wider life outside of the gym?
Massive, massive. Look at our life crew, for instance.
Glad you brought them up. I am really touched on them.
Anyone in that live class, I've seen them develop since we've opened. Just, they move better. They are healthier in their just choices in general as well. You hear them talking, I'm making better choices in my food as well, just off the back of moving well and training well. So massively plays a part in everyone's life. It's not just physically, it's mentally, it's community that supports them as well. Fitness is more than just moving.
So you've mentioned life class.
Yeah.
They're down here on my notes.
Okay.
So our viewers who may not know what a life class is at Monarch, could you tell them what life stands for?
Yeah.
And then could you tell them the typical demographic of the people in that class, and then tell them a little bit about maybe the first life class you've ever through and how many people are on it, and then talk to them about what last week looked like in terms of the numbers and the growth that we've had with that particular element.
So LIFE stands for low impact functional exercise. It is for anyone, but primarily our demographic is more 50, 60 plus, ranging. I can't remember how old he was in the end. 81,
Victor,
82,
83. Deadlift of over 100 kg.
He got 100 keys.
Love that.
He did. So it's a wide span. Yeah. I know now we've had anywhere from, I think we had a 16-year-old doing it at one stage, all the way up to 83. So
I think
it is for anyone.
I think on a couple of occasions I've even seen your sister and your nephew come in and just jump in and do a class with you and be coached by brother and uncle. Nice.
And but it's CrossFit, but it's scaled.
Yeah.
It's taken away a box jump, although they like doing box jump. It's taken away a pull-up, but they like doing pull-ups now. So it's actually almost, let's scale it back until you feel you're comfortable to try some of these higher impacts, unless you physically can't do them. But it is kind of to my freedom a little bit with the programming. He's noticed that I will just adapt it as needs be. They've known now that they can't trust what they see on BoxMate because I might change it. So they're fantastic. And that first class was 4 people, a couple, Rob and Jane, who still come now.
Hi, Rob. Hi, Jane.
2 ladies that were scared to death and never came back.
Was one of them on mum?
She came at one stage, but she wasn't that first one. Rob actually mentioned those 2 the other day. He was like, can you remember those 2? Yeah, that was like one of the first. Then Janie came on board, Jamie Thomas getting involved, and then it's just grown. I think the highest we had was a few weeks ago.
18?
18, maybe 19. More. I think I snuck an extra one on.
How many members would you say we've got, life members? 25? 30?
At least 25, I think, because primarily they will come to those classes, the same group, because they're into it, and they have their own community,
the OGs,
which is incredible.
Yeah.
They have their own WhatsApp group. They have their own coffee time afterwards. Have a Christmas dinner, which I love going to. It's brilliant.
Not long.
They just get on the wine.
Not long.
Brilliant.
Not long now.
They've skipped going to the restaurant. Now they're just going straight to wine monkey this year.
Love it. You mentioned something before, and you said adapt. How do you adapt workouts for people who may be of a certain age, injury, or health concern?
Again, comes from the experience of knowing where to look if that person's injured or what's their limitation. Obviously, you look to adjust that movement to as close to that movement as possible, first of all. And then if we can't do that, can we go to an alternative? So a squat, for instance. If we can't squat, can we lunge? Can we sit to a box? Can we do something like that as an alternative? So it's just knowing these alternatives, but also trying them.
Yeah.
Because they might not be able to do that part, but they can do that.
And here's a question for you, and this probably is going to be linking to the nutrition side, which I know that you're really hot on. But can older adults, both male and female, can they still build muscle and strength effectively, into their later ages?
And that prevents other issues in older age as well.
I think we could cite probably several studies that back that up.
Yeah.
But if someone's listening to this now, so if one of the life guys are listening to this now, or one of our members has listened to it and their parents are listening, and they're wondering what life's about, or they've got some concerns that they're not quite holding as much muscle and stuff as before, what would be your sort of basic go-to advice for someone? Let's just pick an age, 60-year-old male that's maybe not quite in the physical shape that he used to be in his 45s and 50s, what would be a bit of go-to easy advice to get him started on maybe his training journey or trying to keep hold of much of that muscle as possible?
Yeah. You've got to move it or you lose it.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. That's the first term.
Alex Ferguson. I'll never forget.
Is that what he said?
Yeah, he said
the
reason he didn't retire is because he watched his friends retire in their 60s and then slowly lose movement and then possibly pass away. And he's like, I don't want to be that. I want my brain to be sharp. I want to be, and he's like, I kept the team young because it kept me young. So I agree. Definitely agree with that.
So you've got to move it. That's for sure. It can start with walking.
Yeah.
Start that way if you need to. But getting involved, getting started, even if we say it's 20 minutes, we do 10 minutes. It doesn't matter as long as you're moving. I quite often have that when new people come into those classes. They're like, oh, I can't do anymore. Cool, well done.
Yep.
You've moved that much. Let's leave it like that. And I can think back to the beginning of the life classes. It'd be like, right, it's an AMRAP. After you do this, have a breather, have a drink. Now they scrap the drink.
Yeah.
Because they're fitter, they're stronger than they were. So it's moving the body, it's adapting maybe the time frame or the range of motion to do what they can do. And then lo and behold, over time, it improves.
Yeah, agreed. And this is going to kind of go off, Pete, but not too much. Are there any other benefits to that demographic apart from the physical? And maybe talk about maybe the social side?
The social's massive, and you can see that in our life crew right now. It's the social, it's the support, it's the mental, it's all of it is improved from moving and being in that group.
Yeah, no, I agree.
They've shown nothing but support to one another through all their difficulties. And I know we recently just bought them a round of coffees to say, look, we can see what you're doing for each other. We love it. We appreciate it. And we just want to give our love back to the group as well.
They get talked about more than any other group.
Everyone wants to be in life.
Yeah, they get talked about
community.
more. I mean, you've got, like you said, 55, 65, 75-year-olds that are doing things that maybe their children can't do.
Yeah.
They're making smart life choices. Socially, they're great. They're across the road having coffee. Like you said, there's the Christmas drinks. I know they're dog walking together and other bits and pieces. Everybody in our gym talks about the life crew. If they can do it, you can do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love that. And I'll never get bored of that. Stepping away from the older guys, the life class, which has been a huge success for Monarch and something we're really proud of. In terms of training basics and fundamentals, what would you say is the biggest mistake you see with beginners when they start training?
Going too ego or going too hard too soon can be the biggest fallback.
Would you say you mainly see that in men or women?
Ego men. Going too hard too soon, probably women.
Yeah, okay.
I'll
what,
go
too
5
extreme?
times a week.
Okay,
I'll
fine.
do this, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Not so much the weight. Guys, it's like, well, he's lifting that, so I've got to be lifting that. So ego can be a massive fallback. More from what I've seen since Monarch is competition can be a big setback for someone.
Okay.
They can compete with that leaderboard more than why have you started coming to CrossFit?
Yeah.
Why have you started to do this exercise?
Their place on that leaderboard defines how their day went.
Correct. And that's too much. It's not about that. That's not why you joined. That's not why you got involved. You got involved because it was a group atmosphere. You got involved because you wanted to work on yourself. And that can go out the window too soon. Yeah. And then you're competing for a space on that leaderboard.
Yeah, sure.
It doesn't matter.
No, absolutely.
What matters is you've improved on your movement. You've walked out of there in a better mood and all of that.
You mentioned before some things that are important to you. You said form, you said technique, and how Rye tells you to just get on with it because you know your form and technique are good. Let's come back to that. Why is technique more important than lifting heavy, especially early on?
Preventing the injury.
Yeah.
Basically. If you move well, you lift it in the best form you can. Yeah. Yes, there's going to be moments where you'll get injured even with the best form in the world, but more likely you'll get that injury from lifting wrong.
Yeah, sure.
So that's been drummed in me from the off.
One of the things that 100% adds value is being in a CrossFit gym, being coach-led means that you've got someone keeping an eye on that form. Yes. And it's something that I always talk about, or I say to people is, you wouldn't buy a car and just sit in it and expect to drive it. Why you get one body, why would you not pay for the expertise to get going?
Yeah.
Not forever, but if you can afford that with a PT, great. Let's learn how to do the thing you want to learn and then go and do it yourself. Or if you need a PT for accountability, sure, I get that. I've worked with coaches just to keep me accountable. But I think especially in a group training environment, and we can call it small group training or CrossFit, you've got a coach that's got a qualification and knows how to move and how you should be moving, that guidance and guidance at the start, I think, is so important. I think there's a lot of people doing stuff on Instagram that looks cool, and it's like, do you even know why you're doing that?
Yeah.
I think coach led for me will always be something I enjoy. I don't like training by myself. I do it every now and again, but yeah, I think
I've found it harder to train by myself since Monarch.
Yeah.
Way more.
Yeah, I can.
The coach led is massive, and sometimes people think they need to move a certain way. The coach will say it a different way, and they don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just need to let that ego part maybe go and listen to that progression tip they're trying to give you.
When you're seeing that ego and someone's maybe not wanting to take your advice, with the experience you've got, how do you try and attack that?
You give that advice. If you see they're not taking it, you try again. If you see they're not taking it, you go, fine, you're moving. Over time, they might then listen. But those pointers, no doubt, will come up again from me as the coach, or it'll come up from you as the coach. And then maybe they'll go, oh, hang on, he said that last time we did this, and she said that last time I did this. Maybe I need to listen to that. And then all of a sudden, it
penny
clicks.
drops. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So there's a point of giving them that advice, but then there's a point of shoving it down their throat.
Yeah.
And you 2-3 times, if they're not listening, they're still moving.
Yeah.
So let it
as
be.
long as you can keep them safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Safety first. Yeah.
I think there's a couple of members which I could reel off the top of my head, but I love it when the penny drops because I'm like, we've been saying this.
Yeah. So
for 6 months.
We could probably all name a handful of people.
We've been saying this for 6 months, and then the one time they're like, "Oh, I did this." Yeah. Oh, you extended the hip, or you dropped under and caught it. Yeah.
Or you'll say, "Oh, I've tried to tell them to another coach."
Yeah.
And then you see them tell them as well.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the penny drops.
Yeah, and I think straight away, like I've seen it where members have come up to me and asked me about PT, and I'm like, you've never seen me PT, you've only seen me coach, but maybe because they think I'm good at it.
Yeah.
And just because I'm good at something doesn't mean that I can necessarily teach it. So I think, sometimes it can need a different person.
That's the beauty of our coaching team.
Yeah.
I find
it's big.
We're all different.
Yeah, very.
And we all put it in a different way.
Yeah, agreed.
It may need better wording from one compared to the other, or it might be one word compared to a sentence from the other person, or it's you showing that movement when they didn't show it.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of having different coaches.
Yeah. No, I couldn't agree more.
Everyone brings something different.
Yeah, agreed. And I think the members get a different flavour for each one, depending on how you're structuring your week. We touched very briefly.
Mine's the best playlist.
Sure, I'll let you have that. It's definitely not Ryan White's. We touched on before at the very start, sort of like a CV overview of some of your qualifications. The guys on watching this, if you're a member, you'll know. If you're not a member, then you won't know. But Dec's a nutrition coach. How important, and this is a two-pronged question, how important is nutrition to the everyday athlete? And then how important is nutrition to professional athletes?
It gets down to the nitty-gritty a bit more for the professional athlete. But on the whole, they have to tick off the level 1 stuff, so to speak, first. If they're getting those basics right, then they can go into those next steps. But those basics make the difference straight from the off. So nutrition's key, isn't it? We know it. It's in the pyramid of CrossFit.
It is.
It's that base of the pyramid. It's the base of all things we do. If we don't eat, we don't fuel, so we don't move. So we need nutrition. And the better the nutrition, the better you perform, the better you live, the better you are, the longer you live as well. So yes, it's very, very important.
And with that, how do you help clients, both members but also your PC clients, how do you help them with realistic expectations and what you would say were some sort of common challenges?
So this is one part I'm still getting to grips with, but I'm still learning, and I'm seeing is I've got to set that expectation early doors. Some clients in the past I haven't, and then they're like, well, I haven't lost that weight, and I'm like, yeah, but that's not the way I'm trying to approach it. I should have said that from the beginning. That's on me as the coach. So
like define goals,
those expectations straight away. Like, this isn't a crash diet. This is a lifestyle change. I'm not, and it would be great if we're losing loads of weight right at the beginning, but on the whole, that's not what we're doing here. We're trying to change those habits, and we're trying to change those lifestyle choices so that over time you're using your nutrition in a much better way.
Yeah.
For that longevity, as well as for your body, for your shape.
You're not trying to sell someone a quick fix.
No, because it's not. What happens with a quick fix nutrition, it gets thrown out the window again once you've lost the weight, and then the weight's back on.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah,
I'm not
seen it
knocking
1,000
any
times.
of these diets out there, but
Mate, I've
that's what
tried every
happens.
single one.
And this is
You name it, I've tried every
Yeah.
single one.
And everyone comes to me and they said, "Oh, I've done this before, I've done that before, and it worked, but
Yeah.
So it's better to work on that lifestyle change.
Yeah. In terms of mindset, what role does mindset play with sticking to a training program or a nutritional program that you've created?
Big time. Mindset plays just as big a part.
Mm.
Had it with a few, they'll go, oh, let it go, I had a takeaway.
Yeah.
And they wait for that, sorry. And then I go, cool, so what are we doing tomorrow? They're like, what do you mean? It's like, well, okay, it happened yesterday. That's one meal, one evening thing.
One
that doesn't matter.
out of 3 or 4.
Yeah. So let it go. How's breakfast tomorrow? Oh, because I've had that, I'm going to do this instead for breakfast. Sweet. There we go. We're already back on track. One dish does not ruin the whole thing.
No, I agree.
So mindset plays a big part.
Your body doesn't know when the calories reset. We work on time, which is midnight the next day, whatever, but your body doesn't know. And you're absolutely right. Don't let one bad meal, one bad day ruin a week.
That's it.
Or a month.
Exactly.
Or 6 months.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
And that can be the first bit that goes. The mindset. Well, I fucked it. It's Monday. Diet starts on a Monday. I'll start again next Monday.
So you work in a CrossFit gym now where people, everyone is conscious of what they look like, but also you get people that are maybe more performance related than some of the commercial spaces you've worked in.
Yeah.
Would you say overall people are more concerned about like fat loss, or they're more concerned about health, well-being, performance?
Both.
Okay.
Both. Because you get some of the newcomers. That's why they've joined CrossFit, because they want to lose the weight, they want to lose the fat, they want to change their shapes. But then you get those ones that are more into the CrossFit. Now, how do I make my nutrition better for my performance?
Yeah.
One chap I've been working with, that was the first part. Can we look at my performance? I get into these workouts and I'm feeling sluggish, I've got no go. So we looked at that, changed that from the off. It got weight loss, which was the second option, the second part to work on. But because we'd improved the nutrition for performance, it helped that too. And now he's smashing those workouts.
Yeah, good.
Like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah, I love that. And then I've got a last couple of questions and we are done. So I appreciate you being here today. Why do you think the CrossFit methodology works so well across such a broad population? And I said it in my Q&A, which we did a couple of weeks ago. I've done every diet you can think of. I've done every sort of training you can think of. I've probably played every sport you can think of. And CrossFit is easily, without doubt, the closest one-size-fits-all. So if we had to drop it into education now, I'd be more than confident that's a good place to start. Why do you think it works so well across such a broad population?
Because I guess from a group point of view, you're all doing the same workout.
Yeah. For
one. So you've got, I know I said sometimes that competition can be the issue, but competition. So you're working harder already. It's the variety behind it as well. It's
no
the
two workouts
intensity of it as well. And these things all play a part. And because it's interesting, you feel you've had a hard workout at certain points, you feel there's something happened there, you stick at it.
Yeah.
And primarily, results happen from consistency.
Here's a question for you. You said 2 words, intensity and consistency. If you had to pick what's more important to a member, an athlete? Consistency, 100%.
If you're consistent on something, it's going to get better.
Yeah, couldn't agree more.
And I would say even in myself, you said about my performance has improved. It's because I've been more consistent with CrossFit. The community helps me stay accountable to myself.
Yep.
Today, I can't do Fran. My knee's playing up. So I did push press and pull-ups instead. So I still touched on the Fran aspect, but I did that in open gym by myself. But because I knew that was there, it made me stay consistent and do that today.
Yeah.
I could have just not done that. But I did. So the consistency of it, and I would also say, Ali may agree with me, but it's also the first kind of exercise-wise Ali's stuck at for this long.
Yeah.
She did running before, she did the gym before, but CrossFit, she's continued
3 years.
Monarch's opened.
Yeah.
So it shows that the CrossFit methodology works.
It does work. And if someone's not convinced after what you've just said and what I've just said, what's the one piece of advice you give someone who's still sat on the fence about trying? Just get started.
Yeah.
A bit like this podcast. Put this up an hour ago.
Well, here we go.
I have a
It's
cable
born.
that's not quite long enough to go all the way down. So
Hide
yeah,
it.
just
hide it. It's all
get
good.
started. No, mate, I love it. It's a great piece of advice. I've got a closing question, so
Yeah.
we're going to wrap this up. And again, really, really thank you for jumping on the first one. What's the one reason you keep showing up?
My family.
Yeah, I don't have to ask why they're important to you, clearly, but nah, fine.
Be all, end all. Keep myself fit for them.
Yeah,
Keep myself going for them. Keep myself coaching for them. It's all for them.
yeah, love it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Dec, thank you very much.
Sweet.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed the first episode. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for Dec for being the first official podcast guest. And I look forward to introducing you to the next one. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers, bro. That was awesome.